Hello, football fans. Welcome back to the Helmets Helmet Pod. Joined by my constant co-host Deuce. I'm Stokes. Currently joining you from sunny South Florida. I'll be at the game on released episode of episode 4. I'll be at the Dolphins Broncos game, hoping to bring home a win. Deuce, how you been? It's been a while. Apologies for out of town. We're only able to do one episode this week, but looking forward to an exciting week 3 slate of games.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Um, Obviously, viewers don't know the setup that we tried to get going from so far away has actually been
Yeah,
crazy, but we
yeah,
were able to get it done. Like I said, uh, with the hectic schedules both of us had, to get one episode. But as long as we get one in, I think we're good for this week.
yeah, yeah. Next week we'll be back to our usual early week Sunday night recap or Sunday recap, and later in the week Thursday recap and Sunday preview. But that being said, I think let's just get right into the week 2 recap. Week 2, we saw a lot of exciting games. I thought you saw some teams we were talking about in our last episode that really needed wins, really bounce back, like the Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, other big name teams, but certain big teams, Cincinnati Bengals, did not look so good. And that's where I'm actually looking to start. Bengals dropping a close one to the Ravens. Offense, good news for the Bengals. Offense looked a little better. Bad news is you're 0-2 at the time of this recording. Joe Burrow does not look like he's going to play Monday night. If you drop to 0-3, you are in dire straits. And this is a team I think a lot of people had Super Bowl aspirations for. I had them winning the division at 12-5. Um, Deuce, I think, if you lose Monday night, if Burrow misses extended time, I think this season might be in severe, severe danger.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is a must win. I don't know who they got next. I didn't look ahead, but
Yeah, neither did I.
0-3 is definitely something that can't happen for the Bengals that have Super Bowl
Yeah,
aspirations. Only thing I will say, other teams that basically like the Bills and the Chiefs, Jags, all those other top four seeds last year were all 2-1 right now. Obviously, or 1-1,
one on
excuse me,
one. Yeah,
1-1. So even if everyone wins 2-1, 0-3, I know you can't go in an 0-3 hole, but it's also
yeah,
not like all these teams are 3-0. Even though I
yeah,
know that's only a game difference, I do definitely think the schedule of their division, they only lost to actually they lost two straight division games.
yeah,
So that's even
yeah,
more of an issue for them because they're already down in
yeah.
the hole. But yeah, Joe Burrow doesn't look good at all. He hasn't
No,
completed a pass more than 15 yards downfield yet. 0 of 12 on
no,
attempts. They just don't. He just doesn't look. He doesn't look like he's supposed to be out there. That's what it looks like.
yeah.
It looks like they rushed it because initially he wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be like a couple weeks or so till he came
Mhm.
out. Kind of seems like they forced him to come out week 1, and he just doesn't look good at all. Like nothing
Yeah.
is clicking. And
Yeah,
Jamar
last
Chase, like
yeah,
that's an
Jamar
issue. They don't have the connection or anything.
right. Yeah, Jamar Chase this year has 10 catches for 70 yards through 2 games, which is absolutely unacceptable for a guy people are putting in the top 5 receiver in this league. Last week I said my panic level was about a 4 or 5 on the Bengals. I was not really panicking. Now I think it's up to like a 7. And if Burrow doesn't play, it might be a little higher than that. Last year this team started 0-2 and made the playoffs great. That's the first team ever since 2020, the new playoff format. One of 23 teams has started 0-2 and made the playoffs. The issue is if you're Cincinnati, if you lose this week and you go to 0-3 and Baltimore wins and goes to 3-0, all of a sudden you're 3 games back, and at best you can split in the head to head. So their offense does not look good. I apologize and sympathize with all Joe Burrow fantasy owners and Jamar Chase fantasy owners. they have looked absolutely putrid this year. And I don't know. This week, Monday night, they play the Rams. That's about as must win as it gets. And as of right now, Joe Burrow's likely out. So I don't know. So things do not look great in Cincinnati. I'll tell you where they probably look great, Deuce, is upstate New York and Buffalo after shellacking of the Las Vegas Raiders. Deuce, you called Bills by 40.
Yeah, it was pretty
Wasn't
damn
quite
close.
40, but pretty close. What was the biggest takeaway for you?
My biggest takeaway is Josh Allen, 84% completion percentage.
Hmm.
Watching the entire game, only took about 5 shots, and all pretty. They're pretty dialed up shots too. It wasn't like it was like a regular play and he was like couldn't find anyone and decided to chuck it up. It was pretty dialed up shot plays that looks like it was designed to go deep, but he just took what defense gave him, and that's what you need to do. Because like I was
Yeah,
saying last episode with Jalen Hurts, a lot of teams after they figure out that you are like a top 10 quarterback or that you did take that leap, that they're gonna start um, protecting the deep ball, and I think that's what they've been doing, and the Jets disguised that very well week one. Other teams have too, because obviously he does have a good amount of picks throughout his last couple years, really throughout his whole career. But I think
yeah,
that's what he's finally realizing, that it's okay to dink and dunk and that you can get down the field dinking and dunking. I just think
yeah,
a little bit of it was an ego thing, but not like an ego thing in a bad way. An ego thing as in
yeah.
like
He can
I
make all
felt
the plays.
yeah, he felt like pressure, like either he knows he can make all the plays, or like he was trying to shift momentum, like kind of like
Yeah,
that kind of ego is like, all right, we need like momentum shift, we need like a big play, so he would kind of force it.
right.
And I feel
Yeah,
like I saw a very, very, very different Josh Allen last Sunday that was literally just taking the 5 yard routes. And we don't have a lot of playmakers, but we have enough playmakers on the field where just dunk it to him and make some dude miss. That's 12 yards right there. Another thing I
yeah.
will say though is James Cook over 100 yards rushing. I don't
Hmm.
know the last I think someone's definitely ran over 100 yards in like the last 2 years, but I don't remember that. We rarely get 100 yards rushing from our running back. So I think
Right.
that also helped having a more balanced offense. But yeah, it
Yeah.
was very, I'm granted, let's not go to the moon. It was the Raiders. But
Yep.
I think the game plan was a very good adjustment from week one. And like I said, I cannot be mad at 85% police percentage.
Yeah, I as much as it pains me to say it, that was by far, I think, the most professional game of his career. I think he's known for making plays and making equally as many turnover worthy plays. But man, I mean, he didn't force anything. He took what the defense gave him. He made plenty of plays to win the game. Um, the I feel like the Raiders sort of sat back and said, okay, we're going to wait for the typical big Josh Allen pick that he randomly throws trying to take a deep shot. And it just never came. And they marched down the field every single time and scored. Um, which I gotta commend him for that. I think that he played a very, very professional quarterback game. Um, and I think they look good. Team who I did not think looked so good, Deuce, the Los Angeles Chargers lose somehow to
Some
Tennessee
way.
in a game in which I still, looking back, cannot believe. I mean, you go on Twitter after week two and you just see all of these
Massacre.
people, oh, first in NFL history for this and first team in NFL history to score 50 points with zero turnovers and start 0 and 2. And I
They
mean, it
don't
is
have a
just,
turnover?
no, zero turnovers right now. Off complete guess off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure they're +3 in the turnover differential and they're 0 and 2. Um, this is a team that just finds ways to lose, and it 0-2 Chargers right now is not something that I think anybody predicted, Deuce.
Yeah, I don't remember the actual score, but I'm pretty sure I saw something that said they in the
I think it
beginning
was
of the fourth.
27-24 in overtime.
Yeah, but I'm saying it going into the fourth quarter, I'm pretty sure they were up. I don't know how much,
Yeah,
but basically they were saying that entire fourth quarter they had a chance to make it a two-score game, and they just
yep,
literally just fizzled out the entire fourth quarter. Didn't get any production, any points, and had let
yep,
them come back.
yeah. It's a very tough situation because I saw something that I actually agree with now. Before all the Justin Herbert fans get in their feelings in the comments, I think Herbert has played pretty well this year. I think that he is a very good quarterback, but I think that he is paid to be the answer to a lot of these problems, and he just has not been. And yes, Brandon Staley has been horrible this year, and you can't give up 27 points to Ryan Tannehill. But
He
this
might
is
not make
two,
it.
yeah, this is two
I don't think
straight.
Staley's making it to the end of the year.
No, I don't think so. He's my number one coach in the hot seat, but this is two straight weeks. He has had six possessions now to either extend the lead in the fourth quarter or win the game, and they have not scored a touchdown on a single possession. They've kicked two field goals and have gone scoreless in four possessions. Do I think he's the number one problem? No. Do I even think he's in the top three problems on that team? Probably not. But if you were the second highest paid player in NFL history, I'm sorry, I think you have to come away with at least one of these wins, referring to the Dolphins week one and the Titans week two. I just I think he's playing fine football. I think he's playing above average football, but nothing through 2 weeks has said that's the second highest paid player in football, you know? And then don't even get me started on the defense. The defense is spending money like you wouldn't believe to give up over 40 points
And
or
he's
close to 40
supposed to
points
be
in
a
week one. And
defensive
then,
minded coach. So, if
yeah,
anything, the defense should be good and the offense should
yeah,
be mediocre. And that's why they got Kellen Moore. But when they got Kellen Moore, it wasn't the offense. They're scoring points, they're just letting 30 on the back end. So,
yeah,
I don't understand because I I guess maybe Raheem Morris, because he's the DC of the Rams now.
mhm,
I don't know how much he had to do with the involvement of the defense when Brandon Staley was the Rams defensive coordinator, but
yeah,
I just don't know what Brandon Staley legitimately brings to the table besides going for it on fourth down and being a little bit, you could say it's ballsy, but obviously if you don't convert it looks stupid. So like it's one or the
yeah,
other. But I just don't know what
yeah,
Brandon Staley brings to the table as a coach if he's a
yeah.
defensive minded play or defensive minded coach and their defense is it's got to be like at bottom 5 right now.
Yeah, I know. I think it's the bottom defense in terms of total defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know that we'll see. If I'm a Chargers fan, team member, whatever, my panic level's probably over an 8. I mean, you have looked pretty horrific on defense through 2 weeks. You have a chance to start 0-3 again. This is a team a lot of people picked to make the playoffs. I don't know. It's something there. Just it's just that's so Chargers, as I would say. Another game I thought was interesting. Mahomes versus Trevor Lawrence. I don't think turned out to be like how anybody thought. Just a low scoring slugfest.
Absolute
I have not
slugfest.
been overly in or yeah, slogfest rather, not slugfest. Um, I've not been overly impressed with Trevor Lawrence this year. I think a lot of people thought he was going to come in and set the world on fire with Calvin Ridley. I think he's looked pretty good. I just I don't think he's done a whole lot. That Chiefs game, I think he made throws, but
He missed a
they didn't. None
lot
of
in
them
the red
result.
zone.
Yeah, none of them were resulting for points. I thought the Chiefs' offense looked okay. My biggest takeaway, though, through two games, I think this might be the most complete team the Chiefs have had in the Mahomes era in terms of offense, defense, special teams. If they can figure out the offense, which they're probably going to, they might be really scary.
Yeah, the defense very very solid. Surprisingly, since they have a lot
Yeah,
of young guns on there that are 1 and 2 year starters, because half the defense last year were rookies.
right.
But yeah, I think the defense is really what's like moving the team, moving the train right now with them. Offense
Yeah,
does look a little bit shaky, and obviously Kelsey was there. It took a while for him to get going. He was more like second half. He scored and he was getting a little bit more targets. Um,
yeah,
but like I said, I think Trevor Lawrence in the red zone. Like when I said like he missed a lot, I don't mean he missed a lot like he didn't see someone open or like he threw it over someone's head. I'm talking like he needed to put either a tad bit more air under it or a little bit more zip, and it would have been a touchdown. Because if you
yeah.
watch,
He had a couple of those.
like Zay Jones could have scored 3 times in that game, and it was
Yeah,
just literally by like a toe or something like that. Same with Calvin Ridley on the
right.
go ahead score, literally just just a little bit to the outside, couldn't get both feet in. So
Yeah,
they had a lot of opportunities where it's literally like just missed.
right.
And yeah, everyone thought that they were gonna set the world on fire with Calvin Ridley. I just thought there was. I still think there's just way too many mouths to feed. Like I know you want to
Yeah,
try to like force feed Calvin Ridley, but there's just so much other talent on the team that I feel like you can't
right.
just disregard them the entire game. With the
Yeah,
Chiefs, their offense, they kind of got it going. I'm not saying that the Jaguars like figured out how to uh figured out how to
not the
defend them or
Chiefs.
whatever,
Yeah,
but they just I think we're shooting themselves excuse me. We're shooting themselves in the foot a little bit because
yeah,
I don't know if you saw Jawan Taylor got benched because
yeah,
he kept
yeah,
having so many false starts. $20 million tackle got benched for the second half of the
yeah.
game because his stance was just
Right.
he can't figure it out. But
Yeah,
I think that's more of what happened with the Chiefs than like the Jaguars. Like, oh, like they figured it out. Like the Chiefs can't move the ball. I think the Chiefs shot themselves in the foot. There's still a good amount of drops last week. Kadarius Toney. I don't know if that fumble counted, but he fumbled.
yeah,
Um, but I just think it's a little bit more on the Chiefs side that they just need to be a little bit more consistent, uh,
right.
less penalties, and not like shoot themselves in the
Yeah,
foot. I don't think it's the other way where like, oh, the Jags defense was. I don't think it was that. I think the Chiefs just have to figure a couple more things out, and then they'll start humming a little bit better. I will say
yeah.
though, Eric Bieniemy scoring points in
Washington.
in
Yeah,
Washington. He's
Washington
scoring
looks good.
points. They got 55
Yeah,
points on 2 weeks. Chiefs only got 37.
yeah. Sam Howell looks pretty good too. He makes plenty of throws. I thought last week they're starting to surprise some people. I do think they are the worst two win team through 2 weeks, but man, Sam Howell looks confident. I'm not going to say he looks great because he doesn't, but I think he looked a lot better than what people think. I personally had him low on my quarterback rankings, and here he is playing like a top half quarterback through 2 weeks. If you're a Commanders fan, you got to be excited about that. I think the NFC East is incredibly tough, so I think that the Commanders' schedule is going to start evening out soon. But um, Commanders look way better than I think a lot of people thought they were through 2 weeks. I don't think anybody picked them to be 2-0. You know, um,
Yeah.
but that's staying in the NFC East. Uh, Giants Deuce. They were the team I said needed to
Freaking
win most.
Giants,
A
man.
win one, almost lost. They had gone 6 straight quarters without scoring, 60 unanswered points they had given up. Somehow find a way to beat the Cardinals. I thought Daniel Jones week 2 looked horrible in the first half and then played a good second half. And then obviously at the time of this release, Giants got uh, handled relatively easily by San Francisco Thursday night. Um, I'm not
Saquon.
really sure. Yeah, Saquon is hurt. That's a big loss. I just, if I'm a Giants owner, team member, general manager, fan, I'm sorry, I'm not a big Daniel Jones guy. I I think that both of these things are true. I think that he is given a contract expecting that he will perform at a top seven quarterback level, and he is clearly not a top seven quarterback. Do I think the Giants have put him in a great position to succeed? Probably not. But I mean, man, he is tough to win football games, and your quarterback is making $46 million this year, playing at like a rookie contract level. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I I think that they've played two incredibly tough defenses, but I think that a quarterback who they need to be as good as they want him to be needs to make some plays in that Thursday night game to keep the game close. Never once was that game real, even when the score was close, never really felt close. I don't think he makes enough plays. He's bottom 10 in the NFL in total EPA, pass EPA, and EPA per play. Those numbers at $46 million are a really tough pill to swallow.
yeah. Giants almost made me the smartest person in the room if they would have lost, because I said before the season started I was a very down on the Giants. I didn't have them winning more than 6 games. They proved me right week 1. Week 2
Mhm.
I was ecstatic because I thought that they were going to lose to the worst team in the
Yeah,
NFL.
certified Giants hater Deuce.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't believe in Daniel Jones at all.
Yeah,
I He gets paid way too much money. I They have Darren Waller, so like that is like quote unquote their number one receiver. Darren Waller's pretty solid. Uh, Hyatt, he still makes like a couple plays here and there. So I don't know what
yeah,
I obviously I think they expect him to be good without Saquon, and that's just not the case. He needs
yeah,
Saquon, and I think Saquon is still like the focal point of the offense. So if
yeah,
they don't have that, and I think it helps him because it could always be a check down, a security blanket. So when he's not on
yeah.
the field, I think it definitely hinders his play. But when you get paid 42 million dollars,
$46
forty
million
six
dollars
million
he'll make this
dollars,
year.
you should be
Yeah,
able to play some decent football without a premier
yeah,
running back, which a lot of teams
right.
don't have.
Yeah. And that's the thing for me is not a lot of teams can score in San Francisco. Not a lot of teams can beat San Francisco, but I'm asking you to keep it close. Keep it a one score game until the fourth quarter and lose by 11. You know, that's just an area that so far through 3 games I'm disappointed in through them and through him. Um, Moving on to the night games starting Sunday night. Miami Dolphins get the win. Deuce,
Yeah,
little incorrect prediction for
a
you
little
there.
incorrect.
What stood out from you?
What stood out for me is the run game. Y'all ran the
Yeah,
ball very well against a tough defense. Well, we don't know
yeah,
how tough it is after the last 2 weeks, but
yeah. So
y'all
far,
ran the
their
ball
D's look
very
pretty good.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Um,
that's what I was surprised with.
the thing is, Belichick is known for taking away what a team does really well. And for the Dolphins, it's big chunk plays, explosive passing plays in the 10 to 25-yard range, middle of the field. And you could tell Belichick made it very clear he was not going to get beat deep in the first half. He, if you go back and watch the film, Patriots are playing almost exclusively three deep safeties the entire of the game, clogging the middle of the field. And something that really stood out from Tua for me is he just, again, as I talked about for Josh Allen, he just played a professional quarterback game. Took what was given to him, had a very impressive 2-minute drive, but um, Raheem Mostert had a great game. The pass rush had a great game. The defense played fantastic. Um, I thought they looked. I thought they looked pretty solid. Um, it's very tough to win road division games in the NFL, especially pride time. Road games in the NFL are very difficult to win. Going home to Miami this week to play the Broncos 2-0 feels pretty good. Do I vault them into the Super Bowl conversation yet? No. I'm still holding strong my prediction of 11-6, win a playoff game as the top wild card seed and lose in second round. But they do look good. I think that their offense has shown this year that they can sustain long drives, which is something that I didn't think they could do last year. Um, but um, in the words of the late Al Davis, just win, baby. Um, the other two Monday night games touch on really quickly. Deuce,
Lord of mercy.
God, yeah. Anybody, if you paid to watch those games, I feel bad for you. Those were just I mean, those sent the
High
offense
school.
back to the yeah. Those sent the leather helmet. I thought guys were going to come out with leather helmets. Um, those four offenses Monday night, Saints took the win and Steelers took the win. Just, I mean,
Ugly, man.
historically bad. Now, obviously, the nice part is for Saints and Steelers fans, it's always better to be on the winning end of those than the losing end. I think Steelers defense is absolutely legit. My defensive player of the year, TJ Watt,
He's
just he
good.
is unstoppable. Alex Highsmith on the other side. They pay a lot of money for their edge rushers, and man, they are just crazy impact every single week.
That was about Cameron
Um,
Hayward too.
yeah, yeah. So for me, I mean, I can't take much away from the Saints game. I thought the Saints looked bad, but I think Carolina's very bad. Bryce Young just isn't ready yet.
And got hurt
But
playing.
yeah, but for the Steelers, that's a good and much needed division win. You got to figure out the offense though, Deuce.
Yeah, oof, that was both sides. I feel like even though like Chubb got hurt, yes. Now I think what we really saw is when you can't hand off the ball to Chubb and expect seven
Yeah,
yards, offense is a lot more harder to produce.
yeah.
When we got to see that the keys actually got handed to Deshaun Watson after Chubb got hurt, is now that Chubb was hurt, they had literally just like, all right, Deshaun, you got to give us a win right here with a very, very, very poor offense on the other side of the ball. All you had to
Hmm.
do is score about 10 more points at the time, and we would have been
Yeah,
fine. But
yeah.
he did not look like, what is he now? Top five most paid quarterback?
I think he's the third
Third?
or
Yeah,
fourth highest paid
that
quarterback.
is
Two hundred
crazy.
and thirty-one fully guaranteed
Yeah,
million
that
dollars.
did not look none a bit of 231.
Yeah.
I
Um.
can't believe for someone getting paid a disgusting amount of
Mhm.
money, literally can bathe in it, is
Yeah.
making looks like it looks like a college player. Look at his rookie year. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like a rookie
Yeah.
quarterback that doesn't know what's going on and is trying to figure
Right.
it out.
Yeah. The Steelers' offense for me was a little expected to be not great. They've got a second-year quarterback. I don't think they've got a good system in place. I think Kenny Pickett has looked worse this year than he did last year, but it's hard for me to put it all on him. Deshaun Watson, I'm running out of excuses for. I I was somebody that I thought he was going to be good this year. I thought year two of him back, he's shaken off the rust. My God, he looks horrible.
So bad.
He looks absolutely disgusting. And this is a quarterback that the Browns mortgaged their future for. Multiple first round picks, I believe three first round picks, 231 million fully guaranteed. that is a tough pill to swallow if you're the Cleveland Browns. You've lost your best player now for the year. It is a very, very uphill battle the rest of the season. The Ravens, your Ravens, Deuce, they look like the team to beat in this
Yes, they
AFC
do.
North. Um,
Lamar
so
Jackson, MVP.
I gotta give it back. I gotta give you that. That pretty much wraps up our week two discussion. Week three preview now. There were some all right games, Deuce. What's one matchup that you're really looking out to see, whether it's a good game, bad game, intriguing matchup? What game are you most excited to see?
The game I'm most excited to see, I think it would be, I'd say the Falcons and Lions. I know that probably doesn't sound like a favorite right now, but both of those teams are, I mean, I guess the Lions have more hype coming into the year, but right now both of those
Yeah,
teams are in that same tier. Like, oh, is this something that we should expect, or
yeah,
was it a fluke? Because like for the Falcons, the last 2 weeks they're trying to figure out, is this a fluke or is this the team that we should expect? And then with the
right.
Lions, based off of last year, they want to be like, oh, was last year like a fluke, or are we actually like ready? Was this year three with Dan Campbell or four?
Three. They
Yeah,
were
so yeah,
really
year
bad
three with
in last
Campbell.
year and then this
Yeah.
year. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think those are gonna be one of those. Uh I guess both of those teams have the opportunity to win the division, but right now, I guess that's what we're saying. Those two teams, uh, we're trying to figure out, is this a team that's gonna lead the division and win the division? But I'm
right.
just trying to see who's more of a contender, not pretender.
Yeah,
Uh
for, right.
I wouldn't say, I
For
was gonna say the Chargers Vikings game, but I don't know if I'm too excited to watch that. I'm a little scared that I'll get like a Monday night game from last week if I
yeah,
sit there and watch that.
for me, that was the matchup I'm looking forward to the most because I think it has the most riding on that game. These are two
Got
high,
jobs on the line
uh,
that game.
yeah, these are two teams with high expectations, both 0 and 2, and both just seemingly find ways to lose on defense. I think that whichever team loses this game goes into full panic mode for different reasons. Um, if the Chargers lose, I think you are in complete panic mode, clean house, do whatever we can to try and preserve this season. Vikings, on the other hand, it's about keeping Justin Jefferson happy. Sorry, I don't know if he will be a Viking in 2 or 3 years. And if you let him go as potentially the best receiver of this generation, because you can't win with him, I don't know. I do not know. So that's my matchup. I think has the most riding on that game. Um, I think that has a chance to be, a 35-33 game. Just two offenses going back and forth in some sort of pond hockey. Um,
No defense being played.
yeah. Quickly before we get into our weekly picks, Deuce, we're going to go into my favorite segment of the week, the what we're going to call locks and robbers.
Yep. Love it.
We're each going to give a lock of the week and a upset that we think could be robbing the week. We man, for the listeners who listened to episode 3, we did pretty good. We did pretty good. Both of our locks ended up winning big. Me with the Dallas Cowboys, you with the Buffalo Bills. My upset actually hit. I chose Seattle over the Lions. You chose New England, I believe, over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
chose
I
New
chose New
England
England
over
over
Miami.
Miami, yeah.
Close. They were right there at the end of the game. Um, this week, I'm going to start off with my upset. I actually have the Titans going into Cleveland,
A
winning.
lock?
Yeah, no, that's my
Wow.
upset.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, my
Yeah,
fault. Yeah.
yeah, that's my upset. I'm going to choose the Tennessee Titans. I think Ryan Tannehill had a huge bounce back game. I think Derrick Henry looks good. I think their defense looks good. But more importantly for me, I think this is on the Cleveland Browns looking like an absolute disaster. I think they're going to have severe nightmare issues without Nick Chubb. I've got the Titans going into Cleveland and winning that game for my upset of the week.
Solid. Um, I'm trying to look here, see what I want to put because I didn't look too much earlier, but I really, just based on what I see, I feel like there's not too many. I feel like there's a lot of landslide games this week, like a lot of like Bills, Commanders, and freaking
Yeah, I
Bears,
agree.
Chiefs. My
Yeah.
upset, and this is gonna go against everything I've said before. My upset is gonna be the Buccaneers beating the Eagles Monday night. That's gonna
Wow.
be my upset.
Wow. Okay.
Because
Um,
Buccaneers defense is still there.
yeah,
They still look solid. And my only issue is if this offense is actually gonna be able to move the ball versus the Eagles, because like you said, that Eagles
right.
D line is actually insane. But
Yeah, and
the Buccaneers have a
incredible.
solid O line, so that's my only thing. But I think that's my upset. Gonna be close one.
Okay.
Bucks are at home. Maybe I would say that the Bang I was gonna do the Rams, but if Burrow doesn't play, I
Yeah,
wouldn't really call that an upset.
right.
So
Yeah.
that's gonna be mine. I'm gonna shoot big today.
Okay. Deuce buying into the Baker Mayfield hype. He's played very well this year. Staying with you, Deuce, for your lock of the week. What do you got?
My lock of the week is probably gonna be I just say probably Seattle Seahawks. Even
Okay.
they came off that win. Uh I think this was like maybe like a little easy one because Bryce Young's
Yeah.
not playing. I don't think Andy Dalton's any better, but I think they
Hmm.
become 2-1. I can get back on my I can keep
On your
riding my
Seahawks.
Seahawks train. Yep.
Yeah. Your playoff Seahawks train. I'm gonna for mine. I'm gonna take the easy way out. I'm gonna go Chiefs at
Yeah,
home against the Bears. I think if you were to ask me how, in terms of a percentage, how confident I am, I'm seeing that there is less than a 1% chance the Chicago Bears win this game.
I think
I
it's
think
gonna
they
be
are an
really bad.
abs. I think if you look up dumpster fire in the dictionary, you're going to see a Chicago Bears logo. If you look up, I don't even know how many words you can describe Justin Fields in terms of maybe disappointment, maybe just I need help. You're going to see him in the dictionary. I've got the Chiefs winning. I think big. I think this is a much needed game for the Chiefs. Get their offense figured out. I've got them big.
Yeah, I think their
Um.
defense is gonna tee off.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Uh. So now let's move into our picks from week two. For those of you who didn't watch and see our picks from last week, excuse me. I would picked 10 correctly. Deuce picked 9. I've got a 1 pick lead going into this week. I chose Titans Chiefs already. Deuce had who did you have Deuce for your upset and lock?
My upset was the Bucks, and my lock
Right, Bucks,
was the
right,
Seattle Seahawks.
right. So you've got Bucks and Seahawks. I'm gonna start my first game. I'm gonna go with my Miami Dolphins getting the win at home. I think it's gonna be a little. I think it's gonna be a little close for a little bit, and then I think they're gonna pull away in the second half. I think that there's just gonna be too much talent on the Dolphins side. I think the the Broncos defense looks horrible. I've got Dolphins over Broncos.
Yeah, I wanted to upset Miami 2 in a row, but I need to be more.
I
If
wanted
we're
that too.
keeping score, I got to be a little more realistic.
Yeah,
So
I
I like
wanted
I
that
said,
too.
the Broncos defense. If they could have gave me any hope last week, I probably would have done it. But they can't
Yeah,
give up 35 points and lose.
yeah,
So yeah,
the
I got the Finns
Commanders.
winning regardless of Jalen Water being out.
Right. All right, moving on. Atlanta at Detroit, your most interesting matchup, Deuce. I have Lions getting the win. As much as I'd love to take the Falcons, I'm a huge Bijan Robinson believer. I think he walks into week 3 having played 2 games as a top 5 NFL running back. and personal bias, I'd love to put him in top three. I'm not going to do it quite yet, but give me a couple weeks. I think I'll be putting him in the top three. But I don't think Desmond Ritter can get it done. I'm going Lions in a close one.
Yeah, I got Lions too as well. Uh, Tough loss last week in overtime. They'll be back at home. I don't think they'll figure it out. The
Yeah.
I feel like the Seahawks kind of got them in the passing game. I don't think the Falcons have a very high passing game. They kind of lead on the run very heavily. Yeah, and I got the Lions
Okay.
coming out with the win here.
Okay. Um, for you, Deuce, Titans at Cleveland. Who do you have Titans with me? Do you have Cleveland?
Yeah,
What do you
we
got?
talked about it a little bit before the show, and I just can't, after what I watched on Monday, be any bit of confident in the Browns winning a football game right now. So
Yeah.
I do have the Titans. As much as I hate it, they're always the sneaky like 7-9 team or 8-9 team, and I got them winning just
Yeah.
because they're
Right.
just bad.
Yeah. Saints at Packers. I personally am. I got to admit, I'm a little bit of a Jordan Love guy right now. I think he is playing very good football. I think third downs, he's been very good. I don't think the Packers are putting too much on him, and I think he's responding really well. I believe Christian Watson is supposed to come back. Do not quote me on that, but I've got Packers at home to the Saints. Um, I don't love the Saints right now. I don't love Derek Carr, but I've got Green Bay comfortably.
Yeah, so finally got a mix up. I got the Saints just
Okay.
because Jordan Love, yes, he does look very good. I don't think he's played a top 15 defense yet, so I'm going to hold off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that the Saints are one of those top 5, 6 defenses that might give him a little bit of problems. I'm not
Yeah.
high on Derek Carr, but I think that he has enough to get it done around him with Olave and Michael Thomas. I'm pretty sure
Uh-huh.
Williams got hurt,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
He's on the IR now.
yeah, he's on the IR. But yeah, I think that Derek Carr is gonna play just good enough to get them over a hump. Probably gonna be close, but I think that defense shuts down Jordan Love.
Got it. Next one, Chargers at Vikings, big time matchup. I really would love to take the Chargers here. I think there is a solid chance they win, but until this team proves to me that they can go one fourth quarter without making a bad headline, I've got to go Vikings. I've got to go close one. Oh, excuse me. A prop of the week I love is the over in this Vikings Chargers game. Um, I
No way it's
sorry,
under
I sorry
50.
Chargers fans until they prove they can hold a fourth quarter down. I got to pick against them.
Yeah, I definitely have the Vikings too. I think
Hmm.
I think the entire locker room is compromised. I don't think any of those players really trust Staley anymore because the talent on that team is way, way, way above average to be 0-2. And
Yeah,
I think that he's kind of lost the locker room. Maybe that happened with the playoff game where he 21-point comeback, but
yeah,
I can't, like I said, I based off what I've seen, I can't even give you an argument why I would pick the Chargers.
yeah. New England at Jets, Deuce AFC matchup or AFC East matchup. I guess AFC matchup as well. Do you like Belichick this game? He's won 14 straight against the Jets. Who do you got coming out of this one?
I like Patriots as much as they're 0-2. I like the
Hmm.
Patriots. Zach Wilson. In the first half of the game last week, even though he had that one pick before half, it he looked like he took a little bit of a step. But in that second half,
Yeah.
he threw two more very,
Hmm.
very bad ones, like very
Yeah.
bad. I'm like, all right, this is the same kid as last year. So
Yeah.
I think that
I
the Patriots win.
I am going to head. I'm going to go ahead and steal Lee Corso's lingo, and I'm going to say not so fast. I got the Jets. Believe it or not, I got them. beating New England in an absolute slog. I've got I've got Zach doing just enough to make sure the defense can win the game, not Zach winning the game. But yeah, I think 14 games is too many. I've got the Jets in a close one. Um, Last AFC East team, I also have the Bills at Commanders. I like them rolling. Um, I don't think it'll be particularly close.
Oh yeah, that's another 40 for Buffalo.
Yeah,
I don't have
I
much more
I
to
think
say from
they'll
that.
win big. Jacksonville division matchup home to Houston. I think CJ Stroud has looked very capable as an NFL starter. I'm not going to say he's looked great, but he hasn't turned the ball over and he's made plays. But I don't think their team is in any position to compete with Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville big at home to Houston.
Yeah, CJ Stroud hasn't looked good at all. His stats look respectable, but that's just a lot of garbage time point or garbage time stats that he's
Yeah,
throwing up on there. Uh,
yeah,
they don't look ready yet. I think he needs an entire year, maybe year two, have something figured
yeah,
out. But
right,
yeah, I definitely like the Jaguars winning big, especially off of a loss last week.
right. Ravens at home to the Colts. Colts without Richardson. I see no way that Baltimore loses this. I've got them at 3-0. I've got your Ravens top of the AFC after 3 weeks, Deuce.
Yep, number one seed Ravens are gonna stay up there. Uh, yeah, they're gonna whoop the Colts.
Yeah.
Jackson might be able to rest the fourth quarter.
Seattle now. Seattle at home to Carolina. Again, not much for me to say about this one. Carolina's looked bad with Bryce Young. I think they're going to look worse without him. Um, I've got Seattle comfortably.
Yeah, I got Seattle bouncing back after, or actually they won my neck. But yeah, I got Seattle winning again. Um,
Yeah.
there's not much to say. Yeah, the Panthers aren't gonna. They don't look good.
Here's a matchup. First, really quickly, I'm assuming Deuce, you have Chiefs at home, uh,
Yeah.
as
We're,
well.
we're not we're not
Yeah,
getting too crazy.
no. Um, Here's one. I think Dallas at Arizona. I think Dallas is going to win comfortably. But really quick on Dallas, I think Dallas has looked fantastic. I don't see any reason why they don't look. They're not the second best team right now behind San Francisco. I like Dallas big. Trayvon Diggs, that
Yeah,
injury
it's
sucks.
tough.
For those who know me, know I'm a huge Dak Prescott guy. I think he gets a ton of unwarranted hate. I think Dak Prescott is a top 10 NFL quarterback. I think he's looked very good, very in command. But I mean, Micah Parsons is out of this world talented. Their defense is incredible. I like Dallas big going to 3-0.
Yeah, I definitely like Dallas big, but I don't know if I can call them the second best team in the league just because all we're gauging off of them playing both New York teams that are gonna be. I guess they're not both gonna be last in the division. I don't know with the Commanders how the
Yeah,
Commanders play. They could be, but I don't know. I
yeah,
feel like they're getting a little bit too much hype for playing the Jets
yeah.
and the Giants. I
That's
want to,
fair.
and now they get to play the Cardinals. So a lot of
That's fair.
bottom five
Yeah,
teams right
but you
now.
could say the same. You could say the same for San Francisco. San Francisco has played um, the Rams, the Steelers, and the Giants,
I like the
and those are
Rams.
some bad teams.
I think the Rams win like six,
Um,
7 games. But yeah,
but
yeah, the
I
other two teams
I've
very
got
bad.
Dallas as my number two team. Uh, Moving on to the night games, Steelers at the Raiders Sunday night. Unfortunately for football fans, just another brutal primetime matchup. I'd love to pick a tie. I will at some point be picking a tie. I'm not gonna do it this game. Um, I'm gonna look away and cringe as I pick the Steelers like 17-13 maybe. I don't think either team breaks 20 points. I think the Steelers defense is way too good. I think they're the better football team. I'm going to win, or I'm going to take them to win.
I would love to hate on the Steelers this week, but the the Raiders defense I don't think is anything but a damn
Yeah.
turnstile. I think the Steelers score on a defense again to
Mhm.
put them over the top for a win. As as much
Yeah.
as I hate it, I think I got the Steelers. Didn't see anything promising from the Raiders the last 2 weeks. I
Yeah.
don't think the Raiders have broke 20 points. So
Yeah.
yeah, sadly we're gonna have to pick the Steelers.
Then on to the Monday nights. Deuce already has Bucks at home to the Eagles as an upset watch. I'm going to take Philly in another ugly one. I don't think Jalen Hurts has looked particularly good this year, but I think he's going to make enough plays to get it done. Monday night, I think their defense is going to do fine against Baker. I like Eagles by a touchdown, maybe. And then the other Monday night matchup, we get a Monday night doubleheader again. Rams at Bengals. I'm working under the assumption Joe Burrow is not playing. I like the Rams to win in Cincinnati. I think the Bengals go 0-3, and I think it's complete crisis time at 0-3 in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I definitely got the Rams winning too. Rams played at least for 3 quarters. I guess they had a chance to win at the end. They played the 49ers pretty hard. Obviously, it's a divisional game, so those always are tougher matchups, closer matchups.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Bengals are definitely going to be in trouble at 0-3, and they're going to have to figure it out.
yeah.
Said every
All right, wrapping up our picks. I think that'll do it for this episode 4 of the Helmet to Helmet Pod. Be sure to give us a follow on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube if you want to see our live reactions to the shows. Thanks for listening.
Yep.
Give us a 5-star rating. Hit the bell for our alerts. Give us a follow on Spotify podcasts. We will see you guys next week.